Hey peeps, it's Jedd here from Disrupt Tutoring, and as always, such a pleasure to join you. Today we're going to deal with some financial mathematics, specifically involving some exchange rates, and with that in mind, let's dive into the question. So we've been told that Zach likes to travel, and who doesn't really? He has saved 5,000 Rand as spending money for his vacation in Australia at the end of 2015. So in 7.1, they've said Zach looks up the exchange rates on the internet, and using the information in the table below, calculates how many Australian dollars Zach can buy for the 5,000 Rand that he saved up. So what I want you to look at in this table is, we see there's a US dollar, euro, British pound. The one we're interested in is the Australian dollar, and we can use either this number over here, or we can use this number over here, and depending on which one we choose, we either multiply or divide. Right, so moving on to 7.1, we know that Zach has 5,000 Rand, and we want to convert that into Australian dollars. So I'm going to start off with my 5,000 Rand. Okay, and now I'm going to convert that into Australian dollars. Now, in my mind, they've said to us here that 1 Australian dollar is worth 9 Rand 50 odd, 9 Rand 52. That means that the resultant answer that I get in Australian dollars should be smaller. So whatever I decide to use, this number or this number, my resulting amount should be smaller. So if I decide to use this 0.105058, I would then need to multiply that by the 5,000 Rand. Okay, and that would give me a smaller answer. If I decide to use the 9.518569, I would then need to take this 5,000 Rand and divide it by that 9.518569. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply. You can choose which method suits you, but I'm going to multiply this by 0.105058. Okay, and that's going to give me the total amount in Australian dollars. And how do I know that it is going to give me the amount in Australian dollars? What's cool here is I can show you that we will be left with Australian dollars, because I'm going to have Australian dollars, and that is per 1 Rand. Now what you notice is that the Rands cancel out, and I'm left with Australian dollars as my unit of measurement. And that means once I plug that into my calculator, that I'm going to have 525 Australian dollars, 29 cents. And that does not seem like a lot, so hopefully he spends that money wisely. Moving on to 7.2. So Zach plans to make another trip to Australia at the end of 2018. So he really loves Australia, it seems. And in 7.2.1, we must assume that the average annual rate of inflation in South Africa will be 6.1% over the next 3 years. In 2018, what amount of money will be equivalent to the 5,000 Rand that Zach has now? So how much would he have to save for his next trip? Now, the problem with this is if he actually uses this methodology, the problem is the 6.1% here might not necessarily equal the inflation rate in Australia. So that's a different discussion. So let's focus on how much 5,000 Rand will be worth in 2018. So we're going to use our inflation formula, which is pretty much our compound interest formula. And that is pretty much it. And we're trying to solve the accumulated amount. So our principal amount is the amount that he's got now, which is the 5,000 Rand, 1 plus, and the interest rate or the inflation rate is 6.1%, which we can represent as 0.061. And then that is going to be over the next 3 years. We plug that into our calculator, and that's going to give us a final answer of 5,971 Rand, 95 cents. So that means in 3 years' time, Zach will need to save 5,971 Rand and 95 cents in order to take across the same value of South African Rands as he did in 2015. Then, in 7.2.2, Zach plans to invest equal amounts into a savings account on 1 December and on 1 December 2017 to have accumulated an amount of 5,980 Rand by December 2018. If the account earns interest at 9% per annum, compounded annually, how much money should Zach deposit into the account at each point? Right, so because we've been told that there are equal amounts, because we've been told there are equal amounts, we can assume that that amount is going to be X. So let's start there. Okay, so 7.2.2. So we're going to start off by saying that the amount must be X, and we need to try and save up to get a total amount of 5,980. So let's think about this. If we put X amount in now, for the next 2 years, okay, so for the next 2 years, we're going to save 9% on that, and that's going to be compounded annually. And then at the start of the next year, I'm going to put in another X, which will only have 1 year to grow at 9%. So that means, starting with the first amount that I put in, that's going to grow at 1,09, okay, for the next, how many years? 2 years. So that's going to have 2 years in the bank account to grow. And then I'm going to add after that first year another amount of X, which is only going to have 1 year's worth of growth. And that is going to equal the 5,980. I don't have much space, so I'm going to squeeze it in. 5,980 that Zach has decided he needs to go to Australia in the 3 years' time. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pull out our X, and we're going to be left with 1,09 squared plus 1,09, and that equals the 5,980, not a colon, an equal sign. And now what we do is we divide both sides by that bracket, that full bracket, and what we should get is X should be equal to 2,624,99. All right, so what does that mean? It means that Zach needs to put in 2,624,99 at the start of 2016, right? Well, at the end of 2016, and that will have a year to grow. And then he's going to put another amount of 2,624, and that's going to then add to the amount that's already grown for a year. And by the end of it, he's going to have the 5,980 Rand that he wanted at the start. So it's some good planning on Zach's behalf. I really hope this is enough money for him to have an awesome time in Australia. If you guys are going on a trip somewhere, let us know. And hopefully you're doing these types of calculations as well. Very special thank you to our sponsors for making this video possible. Remember to check out our website for more of these epic tutorial videos. If you can't find the answer to your question, send us the question and we'll respond with a personalized video just for you. Until the next time, stay epic.